What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Boot Room's top 5 list. And this week we're talking about the players to watch. I'm Anthony.
I'm Chris.
And yeah, we have a list that we've put together. We've come to consensus on the 5 players we think you need to watch this year in the Premier League. And at the end of the video, we will give you our honorable mentions. So let's just jump straight into it. And our number 1 is Liverpool's new goalkeeper, Simon Mignolet.
Yeah. Obviously, we all saw him on the weekend. He made a great save to deny Jonathan Walters a penalty goal. I think he's got a big future at Liverpool. He's obviously replaced Pepe Reina. He's gone out on loan to Napoli. He had a good set of performances at Sunderland before he left, and he's obviously been trusted as the Anfield number 1. So I think we've got a player to watch here with Mignolet.
Yeah, I think he's the only keeper in the Premier League, I think, that really you need to watch this season. De Gea had a breakout season last year. And I'm thinking of teams that have, the top teams, like Liverpool is still a top team, regardless of what anyone wants to say. They're still a big team. The big teams have pretty established goalkeepers. You got De Gea at United, Joe Hart at City, Cech at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Chesney's not established at Arsenal, but whatever. Lloris, everyone knows Lloris is good. He's France's number 1.
Yeah.
And, you look at Liverpool, they had a great keeper in Pepe Reina. He was a great keeper. But it was time for a change. It was due. They didn't have a good backup to bring in. And I think everyone saw the writing on the wall with Mignolet, that obviously you're not bringing this dude in to be the number 2.
Yeah. Last season he was my player, the goalkeeper of my team of the season. And I was really impressed with him for Sunderland last year.
Yeah, I was too. And I'll say this, he's not the best Belgian goalkeeper out there. That, to me, is Courtois.
Yeah, definitely.
But what a great backup to have for your national team when if your number 1 goes down, your number 2 is just as good, basically. That's super rare in the world.
Yeah.
And so, I think Liverpool struck some gold, and they pulled off a great transfer with Mignolet this summer. And, like I said, I think give him this season to prove that he's for real.
Yeah, I think the step up from.
And then next season, I think he goes to world. I would put him in a world class if he proves this season he's for real. But
I think.
Go ahead.
I think the step up from sort of Sunderland to Liverpool will give him the confidence to mature into one of the world class.
He made a great save. I think that just is going to carry on now the rest of the season.
He made a couple of great saves.
Yeah, but one save to really save their game.
Yeah. It would definitely boost his confidence.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Liverpool, not a Liverpool supporter, but I really want to see Mignolet do well. I think he's going to be great, and I'm super happy he's part of that golden age of Belgium. Let's move on from Liverpool to arch rivals, Manchester United, and their anything but prolific striker last season, Danny Welbeck. He's our number 4. Welbeck, fun fact, in the Swansea game, first game of the season, scored more goals than he did all of last season in the Premier League. That's ridiculous, really. And his 2 goals were good in that Swansea game.
The first one was
yeah, but it's still good goals. He was our number, I think it was number 3 in top goals of the week.
Yeah. No, it was a great goal, that second
goal. Obviously in trash time when they were going to win, but still, they go regardless. But what do you think about Welbeck?
I'm obviously a Man United fan, so I think he's a brilliant player. I think the stats do him an injustice, really. His off-ball movement and the way he assists his teammates is brilliant. Towards the end of last season, I was getting frustrated with him. And when I watched him play for England the other day, I was getting frustrated.
Yeah.
I think this season he is due a good season, and especially with maybe Rooney taking a bit of a backstage, I think Moyes will play Welbeck more, giving him the chance to score the goals and sort of mature into the player that we all want to see.
Behind Van Persie that Rooney would play in, right?
Yeah, but I think he could become one of England's top strikers in the near future if he's given the playing time. I mean, last season his statistics were awful.
I think he's neck and neck with Sturridge, in my opinion, for who should be England's number one striker.
Yeah, yeah, I really rate Sturridge as well.
Yeah, Sturridge is great too.
In a couple of years, though, like we're looking at the World Cup next year, it's come around so quickly. But if Welbeck can have a good season this time round, Moyes thinks he can hit 20 goals this season. And I think if he carries on playing, how he is playing, I mean, he's scored 2 goals. That might just be a fluke, but I think if he reaches his potential this season, he'll be in the England squad going to Brazil next year.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out this weekend when they play Chelsea, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see if he's for real or not. He didn't even have to score a goal, in my opinion, to have a good performance. Just don't be so inept on the ball. Like,
yeah.
I mean, put it on target and be threatening, because you can be a great striker and not score goals. As long as you're threatening. And I mean, when last year against Real Madrid, he got the nod, I think it was over Rooney, right, in the return leg. No, at home against Madrid. And we all know about Ronaldo's jetpack to the sky header. But Welbeck in the air had some great chances. And I think it just shows that he's deadly on a set piece. He's a big target. He's tall and can jump. And I think this season, unless they're just going to, I think he's going to be on corners and from long free kicks, he's going to be deadly. So yeah.
He's a strange player there because he doesn't look like an athletic footballer, but he's so quick.
Yeah, he looks really awkwardly lanky.
Technically, he is brilliant. He's a great player. We saw when he was on loan at Sunderland a few seasons back, I think he scored double figures, and he is a good striker. It's just last season, I think, he didn't have the chance to show it, especially in Robin Van Persie's limelight, obviously, last season, as he guided United to the league.
Yeah.
But this season, I think, he's definitely one to watch.
Yeah, I'd agree. So let's move on, though, to number 3, and that is the second Belgian and the final Belgian on our list, and Kevin De Bruyne. Last season, he was on loan at, I want to say, Bremen.
Yeah, it was Werder Bremen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Bremen.
Yep, it was. Because I remember when he played Bayern, and I kind of laughed because I didn't think he was a good player. Then, I saw him against the USA in a friendly a couple months ago. He looked so creative and deadly on the ball. And you look at him as just body figure and, just in appearance, he doesn't look like he'd be your typical fast, quick, technically skilled footballer. De Bruyne is really good.
He is good.
And it's weird to think, I don't want to say he's great. I'm not going to say he's just good. He's really good. He's the type of player that I think any team should want. And the fact he broke Chelsea's starting lineup the first game of the season has to say something.
Yeah, going to comment on that. I think you obviously in the news you saw how much praise the team got from their game against Hull on the weekend. In the first half, they were amazing. Their passing football was brilliant.
Yeah.
And you can see he's just come in from not playing in the Chelsea first team at all. Obviously, Mourinho has given him a chance in pre-season and he's excelled. But he's come into that team straight away. He's slotted in with the likes of Hazard, with Lampard. And the passing football was amazing. It's that's the best.
I think that really means anything because it was against Hull City? No, I don't think he gets in the starting lineup this weekend. I think it's going to be the attacking midfield trio of Oscar, Hazard, and Mata, as usual.
So from what I've heard, Mourinho isn't the biggest fan of Mata.
I know, but Mata is still the best player on that team.
He's incredible. Yeah, I'd say he's Chelsea's best midfielder.
But De Bruyne, even if Mata doesn't play in that United game, De Bruyne is a great player to have in that game. He's going to be the type of player that Chelsea midfield is already great.
You can see how easily he slotted into that midfield, though. Even if it's against Hull, it's still a Premier League match.
It was seamless.
Exactly. Slotted straight in.
And I mean, it must be great because he knows how. Eventually, I'm saying this right now on the record, 2 of his first team teammates, which would be Lukaku soon and Hazard, he knows how they play. They're both, they're 3 Belgian players. They're going to link up so well together. And just watching him, his awareness of okay, this team is not as good as us. I don't have to stay out on the right wing. I can come into the middle and be deadly there. He impressed me so much with his vision, his passing, his ability to read the game before it happened. That all great attacking midfielders need to have.
He's such a young player as well. He's got bags of potential. I thought he was going to be loaned back to the Bundesliga.
I did too. I was almost sure of it.
And I'm glad now that he hasn't been, because he does look like a great prospect.
Now, okay, let's say this just again, like Danny Welbeck. Maybe it was a fluke. His first game was, maybe it was just great, and he'll play more stiffer competition and kind of fade a little bit. But I don't see it happening because I just think he's still young. So even if he fades a little bit, I can't say he's not good. I'm just saying let him give him a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Like I said, player to watch. De Bruyne is a great pick, but he is only number 3. We will move on to number 2, and that is the Shinji Kagawa. Shinji Kagawa to me is one of the top 5 attacking midfielders in the world. And how he doesn't break into the United first team squad is beyond me. Because anyone that watches him play for Japan or play when he played at Borussia Dortmund could see this guy is capable of doing every single thing an attacking player needs to do. He is deadly on the ball. He's super skillful, very fast, great vision. He can score. He's, the type of attacking midfielder you want.
Yeah, I wouldn't go as far as top 5 because I think you could name a few more better. But I think it's a real shame that Ferguson didn't play him last year.
I think they're doing to him what Real Madrid did to Kaká.
Yeah, I'm really hoping Moyes gives him the opportunity this season to play first team football.
I do too.
With last season, at the start of the campaign, you did see Kagawa play a few games.
He did get injured, I'll give him that.
He was injured, and I think he looked slightly weak coming up against some of the Premier League defenders, and I think that was his downfall last season under Ferguson. But I think towards the end of the season, he came into his own. He scored a hat-trick against Norwich, I think.
That was the game before the Real Madrid Champions League tie.
He scored a hat-trick against Norwich.
And then he didn't even get in the game.
Yeah.
I think that's just ridiculous to me because I'm sorry. I've said it before, I'm a Bayern Munich fan. He ripped Bayern apart for 2 straight years as Dortmund won those titles. He was incredible. And anyone that watches, if you go back and watch Shinji Kagawa Dortmund highlights, you would say, how is he on the bench?
Well, Klopp's made a few comments, hasn't he, about how Kagawa's been played in the wrong position at United, and it breaks his heart seeing him played in that position.
He should play, in my opinion, in
just behind one person.
Rooney plays, the Rooney spot.
Yeah, centre attacking midfield. Kagawa should be one of the first names on the team sheet, in my opinion, because from what I've seen, I know highlights, and it's a few Bundesliga games I've watched, but he is a fantastic player, and he's brilliant.
In the Confederations Cup this summer, he was great for Japan. He was amazing, and there's no. I mean, United wouldn't have signed him if they didn't see something in him. So I'm gonna give United the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they just maybe Ferguson, like you said, he was weak. He's not the strongest player. We all know that, but when you have someone of that quality anyway, you kind of have to look past that much of a negative. But Kagawa, I think this season, with all this Rooney drama, is he staying? Is he going? I personally think he stays. A lot of people think he's leaving because, after that, he wouldn't celebrate with his team after that goal. But, maybe we're making something out of nothing. But I think Kagawa breaks in.
Yeah,
at least every other game.
Hope he has a good season, and I hope he gets played because I think he is a very exciting player, and I think he will be a good player for United.
Yeah, I do too. And we'll go for someone that, was established at his club at Dortmund to a player that kind of just broke onto the scene for people that didn't really know anything about young players. That is our number 1 on the list, Southampton's Luke Shaw.
Yeah.
Kind of upsets me that Luke Shaw's like 3 years younger than me, and he's our number one player to watch. And he's probably number one player to watch in the Premier League on a lot of people's lists.
I would say so. Um, we just saw him on the weekend for Southampton. If you watch Match of the Day, you would have seen they highlighted his performance. He's brilliant at attacking and getting back, which isn't a trait that a lot of fullbacks have these days.
Yeah, it's weird because that trait's in a lot of young fullbacks. I think that's getting instilled in them that you can't just attack and forget your defense and hope the centre backs are there for you.
For Southampton, you saw him up the pitch in more advanced role. You saw him back, winning the ball. He just looks like a brilliant player, and I'm so happy to say that he's English. And I think if he has a good season, he will be in the England squad next summer as well.
I don't think there's any way if he has a good season he isn't in that squad for Brazil.
I think you'll see Leighton Baines and Luke Shaw.
Because I think even if he obviously probably won't start over Leighton Baines.
No.
Or even, but I mean, he's a player that it's exciting if he comes off the bench, you know. And every team needs that player that you can go, hey, if things aren't working out, like our defense is kind of we need some energy in it. Bring in this dude. That's Luke Shaw.
Physically, he looks like a winger. And you think back to Gareth Bale playing at left back for Southampton, obviously the same team. He played at left back for Tottenham, and then he's been moved to left midfield. And I
think the writing's on the wall. He's going to become a left winger at some point in his future. But
going forward, he looked brilliant going forward, and in defence as well, which is obviously a bonus considering he's a defender.
Yeah.
But no, he just looked really good on the weekend, and I'm hoping that he will continue that, especially for England as a prospect at the World Cup.
Yeah, I hope so too, because obviously I don't really care that he's English. I'd rather he wouldn't be, because that means Germany and America will have a little bit of easier time against England. I just think I love seeing super young talent like this already so highly regarded, you know.
Yeah, 18, and
He's 18, and he's going to be, at the end of this season, maybe even in the winter transfer window, one of the hottest commodities on the market.
Yeah, I'm surprised that someone hasn't gone for him this summer, to be honest.
Yeah, you never know. There's still some time, but I don't think he moves this summer. I don't think he moves in the winter. Next summer, though, that's a whole other story, because like you said, he has a good season. He's going to probably make the England team for Brazil. And if he makes that World Cup team, you have to think bigger clubs are going to want to come in for him.
Yeah, definitely. But I think the Southampton are building so well because they're bringing in the experienced players, and then they've got the young players like Shaw. Because even at right back, you've got Nathaniel Klein, who's another
he's great too.
Who's one to watch. He was injured on the weekend; he didn't play. But you've got a good setup at Southampton, and I think Luke Shaw's going to thrive in that setup. He just looked a brilliant player, and he's only 18.
So I think that was our easy number one. Luke Shaw, Southampton, soon to be left winger for Tottenham Hotspur. I'm just calling it out right now. But
Real Madrid.
Yeah, and then Real Madrid. You know the usual. But who is your honorable mention?
My honourable mention. I think in terms of player to watch, I'm going to go with Giroud, Oliver Giroud for Arsenal. Right. He had a brilliant pre-season for Arsenal. Obviously, watching the games, he scored a number of goals, and then he scored again on the weekend against Aston Villa.
Yeah.
I think last season he didn't quite live up to the price tag.
No, I wouldn't think so either. He didn't have a bad season, but at the same time, his season wasn't great.
So I think he has a good season ahead of him. He'll score a few goals for Arsenal, maybe 15, maybe 20, hopefully 20 for them, because obviously they're struggling at the moment in terms of signing players. So I think they'll need to rely on the players they've already got, and hopefully Giroud can step up.
Well,
prove that he's a good player.
I hope Giroud steps up. I like watching him play. He's not obviously the most technically gifted player out there, but he's still a fun player to watch, because you never know with Giroud. He'll either skyrocket one into row Z, or he'll put one in the back of the net, and you'll be like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
So, he's one to watch. My honorable mention, I actually had changed up. I was going to say Gerard Deulofeu, now on loan at Everton, but I'm going with my American brethren, Josie Altidore of Sunderland. I was thinking about this while we talked about Welbeck, and how I think this could be the season. Like, if there's a lot of people maybe don't know, Altidore played for AZ Alkmaar. I think that's how you say the team's name, and he broke scoring records left and right. He's America's #1 striker. he at Sunderland, I feel like it's his second stint in the Premier League. I think it's just time for him to show that he's not just a good player in a small league. I'm very critical of all American players because I feel like here in America we hype up our players to believe that we're on the level of these big soccer, football countries. We're not. But Josie Altidore is a step in the right direction for us. And if you look at his goal scoring record right now for the United States, it is crazy. He's like on fire. And he obviously didn't do that well this week. They lost to Fulham, Sunderland on the weekend. But I think Josie Altidore is one to watch. He's a lot more technically gifted than people would say. If you haven't seen Josie Altidore play, I don't think you have, Chris, have you?
No, I've not seen him play. He looks like a big, stocky striker. He's capable.
Did you Google him?
No, I've heard of him. Wow.
He is muscular, and this is a problem I have with Josie Altidore that he fixed as I was saying it to Nate, my co-host for the News and Rumors Report. He, as big as he is, doesn't use that to his advantage, but he had started to, and that's when he started scoring goals. He looks like that type of striker that you're not going to want to try to win a ball against in the air. Yeah. You're going to get knocked over. And he has more pace than you think he looks like. A big dude like that, you wouldn't think he has a lot of pace on him. But he's quick enough, and he can score some screamers. So I think for Sunderland, that's what they need. They need a spark on offense.
Yeah, definitely.
In the attack. And I think Josie Altidore can supply that.
I think he'll be playing up front on his own this season for Sunderland.
That's how he was at AZ, and he was good there. Yeah. He was good at
was it 30 goals?
Yeah, he had 2 30-goal seasons there. I mean, obviously it's in a division, but at the same time, 30-goal season's a 30-goal season. That is our players to watch this season in the Premier League. Like I said, just like our overrated, we might do a revised version for the middle of the season. If these players are having terrible seasons, we might have to change it up a little bit. But let us know what you think. Leave a comment below. List your top 5. Our honorable mention stupid. Do you even know who Josie Altidore is? And tweet us at TBR Football with hashtag #HaveYourSayTBR and let us know what you thought of our lists. Anything you have to say, Chris?
I've got nothing else to say, to be honest.
Awesome. Well, leave a comment. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to us here on YouTube. Share it all over your social networks. And, like I said, I'm Anthony.
I'm Chris. Thanks for watching.
We'll see you guys next time for another episode of the Top 5s.
See you later.